Hello, friends of Balsamiq. This is Peldi, and I'm here with Natalie today. We are going to do some brainstorming and some wireframing on a way to track different assets that the company owns. So, who has what computer, what desk, how old is their chair, this kind of stuff. So, we haven't met about this before, so we'll start from scratch. We'll see. All right, let me share my screen. And here we go. All right, Natalie, let me interview you first. What are some of these assets that we're talking about? We're talking about desks, computers. What else?
Chairs, monitors.
Okay, so different equipment like that.
Right.
What are some of the properties that we need to track? Do we need to track how much we spent on them? When
We don't really, because that's being tracked separately by our accountants. But we
Okay.
need to be able to match, each item up with what's in our financial statement. Now,
Okay.
just to clarify, there's two groups that I think we're interested in tracking. One is those kind of big ones you mentioned, and then we have some smaller items that we're not tracking for financial reasons, but more for logistical reasons. Like, does everybody have a setup that works for them? And
All right.
Yeah.
Do they have a plant, for instance? Right?
Right.
Something like that. Okay. Or yeah. Okay. Or
So,
let's see, a desk lamp or something. And for these, we want to see if, the make and model, right? With customization, info, I guess, description, I guess we should call it.
description.
And then, so not the cost, but you said, is there a unique ID that we can use to match it with the accounting or no?
The bigger assets will have a unique ID. So
Okay.
those desks and computers and things, and those will be a little bit different format between the SRL and the LLC, but
Okay.
they both have a number of types.
Okay.
So.
And then, I guess we want to know when it was purchased, right?
Correct.
Purchase date.
I think we want to know what employee has it,
Right, of course. Employee.
and similarly where that location is. And in the U.S., that even by not just U.S., Italy, but also in the U.S., we want to know the state because that.
All right, so
That matters.
SL or LLC employee, because we have two companies, and then location, state, city and state. That's good.
The only other thing that maybe we want to put in here, but I'm not sure, is the original receipt, like file name. I don't think we need the whole file, but when if we want to go sell this later, we
Right.
have to match those things up, and oftentimes the accountants have the asset number and description, but we're kind of scrambling to find that original, which Mac purchase was this. So.
Now, okay. All right. So receipt ID or photo, we'll see. Now, what are the operations that we want to do on this? Or before we do that, what are the views that we want on this data? Right?
So, yeah, I definitely think we want to see a per employee view that gives the employee the ability to see what they have and the schedule. Can I I didn't get a lamp last time because I didn't think I need it, but I've changed my mind.
Right.
Can I get a lamp? So what do I have, and what do I have the, kind of by default, the ability to be able to order.
Right.
And then I think we want to have an all company view or something, either SRL. I'm not sure if we can see them together and sort them, or if they're two different views, but be able to see as a whole, what do we have? Are you interested in seeing, like, I just want to see our computers, what
Right.
computers do people have? I don't think I would have that need, but you might want to see that.
Yeah, I think we do. So basically big table here, pretty much.
Yeah.
And you can sort it in big sortable table. Okay. Operations. One is add item per employee, right? Well, add item. Then, do we want to have like if we sell something, right? An old computer,
Right.
do we want to keep a record of it? We say archive.
Yeah, I
Right.
think so. I think we want to be able to remove it in some way for sure. And if we have the data, might as well keep it there.
Right.
That way we show. The other thing too is sometimes we've moved computers from one
Right.
person to the other.
Yeah. So in that case, how would that? What do we need to do? Should we just change the employee ID for that same item?
It seems like
Right.
it, and I
Pass item to different. Mm-hmm.
employee, and I don't think we need to retain the history of who had it before, but I can't think of a reason for that, except for that one computer that I poured coffee on. It's kind of good to know that was damaged.
Yeah, I don't know that we need to have a log of all the operations, do we?
I don't think
matters
so. I
much.
don't think we need to trace where it
Right.
started and where it ended up.
And then there's a delete item admin only for mistakes, right?
Right.
This is hidden.
We maybe need to. So it probably comes into changing the employee ID, but being able to edit an item too,
Right.
similar to delete.
Yeah.
You just mixed up what something was or
Right.
something like that.
I guess here we'll do includes passing to different employee. So we don't need that. Okay. CRUD. Create, read, delete. No, update, delete. I think we got them all. This is the read. These are the other ones. All right. Anything else before we start wireframing?
Well, the other thing that was of interest, and it's a different operation, is being able to actually kind of place your order. Know what you have the ability to buy right now, and be able to get Joy and Anna the information to say, I want this chair with green upholstery.
Okay,
And,
so there's request item. Okay, so then we need to have a list of default items.
Right.
Okay.
And I thought as a bigger feature that maybe we build later or something, the request for, we've mentioned a couple times, like just ask Peldi if you want this something different, and maybe that request to the second laptop that is for testing, and here's why. So it could be something that to manage those requests for you, but I don't know that it's needed now. But it
Yeah, we'll look at that flow. What does that request do? Okay. Okay. Look at that. We have requirements. I like to start from the views because that's the user, what the user sees. Before we start, we should mention that there's probably some software out there that does this.
Right.
So let's do some wireframes today because it's fun and it's not going to take that long. But then once we have those, maybe we search around to see if there's something like this. It's a pretty simple thing, and so it won't cost us much to build it ourselves. And maybe it's too simple for there to be a whole app that does it, because really you could do this in Excel. But you never know.
And if possible, as we move along, it works into some of our other needs related to expenses and things like that we see.
Yeah.
That it could be, here's the individual employee's profile of,
Right.
their budget, and maybe it's something that is their home base related to purchasing.
Right. Okay, so actually, before we go forward, just to cement this stuff that we wrote in my head, which will help me with the design, I want to do a little bit of a pseudo coding of the database. So ID and type. So desk computer. Just how I would save this data. And one sec. How do I write that? Asset type ID. No. Key and then type string. Desk chair. Let's see if I like that. This design. Oops. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Okay, so that's what the type is. Then there's the asset, and here it has an ID. It has a type ID, which is a key. Then it has description, accounting ID, purchase date is a date. Employee ID is a key, so we're going to have an employee. Employee ID key, maybe it's an email name. That's how this connects to that, and this connects to that. And then company is a string, one of two. Location is a string. Receipt, maybe it's an DVD. Could be an image, could be the a string, file name, or whatever. Okay, and then there is default assets. Default assets, and here we want type ID, asset ID. Sorry, key and asset ID key. So this will be assets. So this basically, there will be some rows in this table that are default for, that are default for this type. Each type will have a default. Maybe instead we should do it this way, since, sorry.
Okay.
Default asset ID is a key. Yeah, this is better because there can only be one default per type, so we don't need a second table. So this table will have both the default ones and the real ones, and we'll know which ones the default ones are by looking up here. Okay, I wonder if this is the most efficient way to do it. We could also just add a default yes or no here. Anyways, I'm getting too far down into the weeds. All right, so add item, you're adding a row here. Edit, you're editing a row here. Archive, here. Archive.
We have to be able to add an employee too. So,
That's here. And also here we should do archived.
Mhm.
Okay. Archive item is this. Delete item is this. Request. Do we need a list of requests or do we do that via email? We probably should do a list of requests. So requests. And so that there is. Oh, you know what we could do is add a status here. Instead of archived, we can have requested, active, archived. Oh, and we can even do default. That's nice. That's better, actually. And then, yeah, we can just enforce this by not filling it too much. Sorry.
And I don't know where it would be, but I was thinking, well, the replacement schedule would be somehow in here, so it would be notification that you could get a new computer if you want one, because a certain number of years have passed.
So that one we can do by looking at
The purchase date.
so okay, so then we need here for each thing we need a what do we call it? Depreciation or time bomb expiration.
Expiration, yeah. I don't think we want to do depreciation because they might
Right.
not be on the schedule.
So this is days or whatever. Yeah, so then if we have that info, then we can look at all this, go through the list periodically, automatically, of course, and see, all right, which ones are past due, and we can send emails or make a list or show them in a list or something. Okay, so for request, you make it that way. And default items, so yeah. Okay, I think that's all the data that we need to build this guy. Between all these, we should be able to to do all those operations that we want. All right, so let's start with a view, and I'm gonna start here and then we'll move it to another screen.